There'll be girls across the nation that'll eat this up. Babe, I know that it's your soul, but could you bottle it up? Get down to the heart of it, no.
Hey guys, welcome to another Milagros Monday. I hope you are doing well today. And I'm talking and sharing to you a little bit of personal experience about how to always realize that at the end of any conversation or disagreement or difference of opinion, all we really end up with is love. So I'd like to share a little bit about my personal relationship. In my marriage, me and my husband can be many times very different, especially the way it appears that we approach a situation. So I would say that if I had to put words to how we are different, he is definitely more pragmatic and practical. He's definitely more about rationally trying to solve something. And he's got moments here and there where he doesn't work that way, but overall that's how he works. And I tend to appear to be very different. So I'm more of, let's go meditate to find an answer. I go more with my intuition. A lot of times I think sound a little woo 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 to him, like I'm talking about the universe and he's saying like, okay, but we have to pay our bills. Or that's just kind of how the conversation goes. You know, I'll say something like the universe provide, and he's like, as a joke, he'll be like, yeah, go to the store and say that to the cashier and see if you can walk out with what you got. So we come from very different places. And I think what happens to all of us in many relationships, not just in marriages, but in our friendships, with our co-workers, we sometimes feel that because we approach things differently, there has to be some kind of conflict. And even if there is conflict, a lot of times we feel like then maybe we can't be friends with these people, or, you know, for instance, for me, it could seem to somebody else like, you know, how is that particular marriage going to work when a lot of times they approach things very differently. And what I'm actually learning with the course of not only my marriage but my friendships is that it's a beautiful thing when you actually are able to allow the space for someone else to be who they really are, and who then you honor who you really are. And what I've noticed is you actually come up with a lot more knowledge, you learn a lot more, you come up with a lot more creative solutions. Like there are many times where, you know, I'll make a suggestion, my husband will say no, then he makes a suggestion and I'll say no. And then eventually we'll come up with this one suggestion that seems absolutely perfect, but we really wouldn't come up with it if he didn't make a suggestion and I would have made a suggestion that was completely different. So eventually we find some kind of middle ground. And I've noticed this with a friendship of mine that I have as well. A friend of mine that I was actually hanging out with her this past week, and I was very overwhelmed in a moment by our friendship because we, again, talk very differently about things. She is very... Her spirituality is really based on religious understanding of things, and she bases it through her own particular understanding of her denominational beliefs. And so the way she speaks to me and the way I speak to her are very different. But over the course of like 6 years that we've been friends now, it's been amazing to see the mutual respect that has come, where at times I'm very sensitive to the words that I use with her because I want her to understand me. And at times I've noticed that she's very respectful and sensitive of the words that she uses with me. So a lot of times she says things like, you know, this is just the way I say it. Or I'll say, hey, whatever word you want to use to get the same message across. So I think it's something very important that we definitely need more in the world, a mutual sense of respect and understanding, and knowing that at the end of everything, really, we all come from the same place. All there really is love. And when you're able to do that, and when you're able to get there, you realize that your relationships flow a lot easier because you're not in this place of, okay, this person said something I don't like, this isn't going to work out. And I think that can be the tendency. I know that, for instance, in my relationship with my husband, you know, it's difficult sometimes. Many times I do get stuck in this idea of judging him and being like, I don't get it. Why doesn't he understand it this way? Or we literally have to be like, okay, it's okay. We'll just agree to not see it the same way. And actually that a lot of times helps because we just can't. Sometimes as much as we try, especially with our words to explain it to each other, we just don't get there. But it doesn't matter because if we can get to a place where we still feel the love that we have for each other, and we can still understand each other as far as compassion and kindness and those good things, then the relationship can still continue to grow and to flourish. And it's beautiful because we learn a lot of tolerance. So when I meet other people that remind me of him, a lot of times I am a lot more tolerant. And I've noticed the same thing with him. He'll give me a lot of examples of people that he interacts with, and the people say things to him, and the people say, you know, you probably think I'm crazy. And he's like, no, because he knows my wife actually speaks that way. So I'm a lot more open to people speaking differently because he lives with someone that speaks differently than he does. So I think it's a really beautiful thing to be able to live in that place and understand that a difference of ideas actually means there's more room for co-creation, that a difference of ideas means more stimulation, more creativity, more passion, that a difference of ideas and a difference of personalities or any kind of difference can really give room to not do A or B, but actually come up with something that combines A and B. So a lot more things can really be born into this world from this beautiful idea of not seeing things the same way. So I encourage you this week to take this approach to your friendships, to your relationships, to your marriages, to your coworkers, to your boyfriends, to your girlfriends, to whatever relationship you're in, to be able to see this person as an extension of love itself. So if you're able to see that person as extension of yourself, if you're able to treat them with compassion and kindness and love, hopefully the same way that you would treat yourself, at the end of the day, you really realize that all you have is immense love for this person because you realize that, you know, you are co-creating with them. You both come from the same place. And it's really a beautiful thing to get there. You really see your relationships really flourish. And I would recommend you try it with some of the relationships you find a little bit challenging. I know sometimes I can find my own marriage challenging. So it's something that I practice all the time. This idea of looking for the love and the compassion and the kindness in a situation, really looking at this opportunity in my relationship as a means for me to grow and expand and be capable of more instead of me contracting and saying, no, you're different, so this isn't going to work. So I hope you take this into your week. I guarantee you the more you expand, the more you grow, the more milagros will definitely be coming into your life. Have a great day. Bye.